Hey everyone, what's going on? Greg here again from Team Blast. So I'm tracking my business for several different AI platforms like Google AI, Perplexity, ChatGPT, CoPilot, and I've been seeing that my brand has been mentioned more often now, which is the goal of AI SEO. So back on April 7th, it was 6% of the time. Now today we're at 31%. I'm going to show you my top prompt and how I'm being featured more often. So click on View Full Report. It's this. It says hourly SEO consulting for local service businesses. Back on April 8th, I had a 25% of the time that my brand was being mentioned across, again, Google, Perplexity, ChatGPT, and Copilot. Today, it is consistently at the 50% mark, which is actually really important because I've been able to double my coverage now, and I'm consistently at that 50% mark. That is key. That is a KPI that I'm tracking. Let's go into the responses over here. So I want to show you how this looks. So I'm not featured today in Perplexity. I was featured yesterday in Perplexity. So again, this is really key. When it comes to AI SEO, you're not always going to be featured every single day, but the goal is that overview that I showed going from 25% to 50% consistently. That's the goal. So let's go into Google AI. You search for hourly SEO consulting for local service business. My business is featured over here under sources, along with other companies as well. And I'm featured right above the hourly price and details. Let's go now to Microsoft Copilot. So slightly different the way that they source, um, their results. But then my business over here is sourced, and I'm right over here as a linked mention, hourly SEO consulting, one-off SEO help, TM Blast. All right, let's go back. So again, you guys can pause this part of this video, but you can see how often my brand's been mentioned from today versus yesterday versus 2 days ago. I can actually keep going further back to get the full list of how often I was featured. Go back to the very beginning. You can see now that I'm increasing how many yeses there are. So you might be saying, okay, this is cool. Greg is increasing his brand mentions. What has he done? So again, I'm in outerly.ai. I'm going to go to the geo audit tool, go to content checker. So over here is the main page I've been demoing off now in a few different videos. This is really key. You have to crawl your pages. So there's a combination of I use SEMrush to track some daily keyword rankings. I saw my hourly was been featured in Google AI, so I add that as a prompt within hourly. I also use Microsoft Bing Webmaster Tools. I found out that my hourly page again was being cited. That's why I chose it. So I had a few different sources telling me that this was the key page to really focus on, and I wanted to increase my brand visibility. 3 things that really matter: static versus dynamic, readiness analysis, and structured data analysis. So let me just explain this real quick. The top, static, that's key. If you have a heavy JavaScript website or a ton of iframes or other, honestly, bloat when it comes to a page, it's going to be very difficult for Google and for Copilot and ChatGPT and Perplexity to really understand your content. You want to be as close to 100% as possible. Static is just HTML. Readiness analysis. So this is key blocks. So if your strategy right now is saying I want to write 10,000 words for SEO, that's not going to work. It's not going to rank. It's too there's too much jargon. There's too many words. People don't even read it anyway. You really need to break up your content into a clear and understanding section. So what I like to do on my site is I break it up with different color schemes from like a flow pattern, because that's the thing about a mobile first user. And the structured data analysis, that's a combination of schema markup, but also your traditional SEO elements like title tag, H1 tag, all that kind of stuff. Let me go to the page real quick so you can just see it. That's kind of what I mean. And by the way, I'm not a developer, so if I can do this, you guys can do this too. So I have a white background over here. Then I have a key takeaway section, which is blue. And then I have this blue, darker blue section. Then I have a video over here, and you can get an idea of how I've broken up my content. So there is a lot of words on here, but when you break it up with different backgrounds and different blocks, it makes it so much easier to understand. And I believe, according to outerly.ai, they really like that because they can see it's clear. It could be much better, obviously, but I've been making visual changes on my site. I've been using the tool to run content checks. I've been looking at some of the analysis that they give me, and I've been making changes. And this is the same type of thought process I'm pushing for all my clients. So again, if you are, let's say, an e-commerce business or a B2B or B2C, and you have a national audience as well, or even international, this is pretty much where you want to be kind of focusing on a little bit, which is, maybe we have a pretty good SEO strategy. How do we increase our brand coverage across ChatGPT, Copilot, Perplexity, and other LLMs as well to increase our brand perception to hopefully lead to more awareness, more direct traffic, more referral traffic from these platforms, and ultimately more leads. But anyway, I'll leave you guys with this again. So go back into the overview, increasing brand coverage, which is great. I expect this to keep growing, and I'm gonna keep making more videos about this. But anyway, let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope this maybe sparks some ideas what you guys can do for your business. Let me know in the comment section. And as always, have a good rest of your day.